I'm a magician since I was a kid, and I'm still a magician. I'm just taking some time to build companies and to do other kind of magic. The more I learn, the more ignorant that I feel a lot of the times. And there was a moment where we realized that we were into something because we evaluated it and we saw that the technology was way beyond our expectations. We want to become the biggest employer in the world of digital workers. If you are not able to accelerate before it took you 3 days to deliver a response to a client, and now you have a competitor that uses Maisa that is doing it in 10 minutes. If you don't have that, you won't be competitive. Managing the people is managing the company. Without the people, you don't have the company. I have one advantage. My main advantage is vision, and I've seen what we can do. And if I've seen it, it can happen. And I will just make it happen. Yeah, why not? I think that's a problem also that we have in Spain. We always see the ambitious as a problem. I'm very self-confident. I doubt about myself a lot too. Someone very close to me having cancers, leukemias. It has changed also my understanding of life. This moment right now, it's infinite. The only thing that exists is this moment that I'm having right now. And this moment will exist forever. And it's very difficult to explain. But I'm alive now. I'm aware.
Hi, David. Today we are at the room by VDS. For those who don't know, David Villalón, he's the founder and the CEO of Maisa, the company that is building so-called digital workers. In your own words, David, tell us who you are, what mission you're on, without titles, roles, and positions. Who is David Villalón?
First of all, happy to be here and to share this time with you. So I always like to say that I'm a magician since I was a kid, and I'm still a magician. I'm just taking some time to build companies and to do other kind of magic. But I'm a person that is continuously learning, and that thinks that the more I learn, the more ignorant that I feel a lot of the times, and that you question yourself. I try to be very also conscious about time and present, and this is who I am. Always questioning and wondering why not this is possible not to be done, or what are the limits.
You started building technology very early. You're right now 28. What led you to this path? Do you remember something that strikes you from those early days of building the Maisa?
You mean if something struck me when building Maisa, that moved me, or in the process? What exactly?
What's the most striking that you remember from these early days of building Maisa?
It was the moment when we realized that we were into something. So at the beginning, when you start a project, you're always you start with trying to see where do we go, what do we build, and we were in a wonder. My co-founder made some project on technology, and we worked around it, and we started testing it. And there was a moment where we realized that we were into something because we evaluated it and we saw that the technology was way beyond our expectations. Then we had to understand how to use that. But that moment struck me because I remember the first day that everyone was using ChatGPT. It was very early. I was using ChatGPT, and we were trying to do some tasks, and they did not work. And we used our tech, KPU, Knowledge Processing Unit, and gave it a few tasks that ChatGPT could not do, and it made them so much that I was like, wait, what? It made it. It worked. And that's the moment when we started believing even more in what we were doing, and it has compounded to this moment.
When was that?
In early March 2024, I think, more or less.
You're from Valencia. You started the company 2 years ago.
Yes.
How did it all begin? How did it all started? What was the initial idea? Did you shift it along the way? Who did you start it with? Tell us.
Yeah. So it started mostly because we were thinking from a different perspective since the beginning. So my co-founder and me were working on another company, and we were very frustrated with the AI, and it was just getting started. That was 2023. When I say by AI, I mean by working with this technology. It was highly unreliable. You could not really control it. It was always going to be a black box. So we also position ourselves in a different world. we try to go into the future and say what is going to be true in a few years from now. And we knew that, okay, AI is going to be unreliable. It's not going to, it's probabilistic, so you might not, you are not going to be able to trust it. But there was one dimension that changed our perspective and that helped us to build the company, which was the speed of how AI is going to operate. The speed, I mean that today models go fairly, not that fast, go slow, like 100 tokens per second to 200 tokens per second on an average. Then you have ways to go faster. That means that you can write 1 page per second, 2 pages per second of content in a way that people can understand it. That's what you see in ChatGPT, that starts loading and works. That is slow motion. Like that is going to change. In a few years from now, we will get to 3 million tokens per second. That means that it will write 1 book in a second. That's coming. And when that comes, how are you going to know it did the work that used to take us years? How are you going to know that it's right? That there is no mistakes, that in the process it's working, if it's probabilistic and it's not up to date and it can have hallucinations. So on that mindset, Manu had my co-founder, the idea also of operating systems. Operating systems manage very fast the instructions of the computer. So what if the AI was the core of a new operating system? And building on that idea, and that was how the technology was created. It's at the end like a virtual computer. And from that we learned that we also solved other problems. We made it traceable, we made it auditable, reproducible on the results. We were able to solve a huge problem of explainability of what is happening and doing by treating AI as something different, not as the ground truth of the responses, but as the technology that tell us what needs to be executed to create a response. And this is how the company was created. We spent 1 year with the technology, with results that were 9 to 11 months ahead of market awareness, and trying to figure out, what do we build with this engine? Do we build a car? Do we build a plane? Or what is the product that can leverage this technology in a way that can be valuable for customers? Maybe there's no product, but if there was a product.
So you had to search for the product market fit and choose the path. Can you tell us what is Maisa right now? What is it in your own words as a founder? How do you see it, and what it's going to be in the 5 years?
So today Maisa, it's a company that is built to work especially with enterprises in environments where you need trust. And what we help to do is to onboard these digital workers. So we help anyone to bring a digital worker into the table, onboard it in natural language. That worker will ask questions, will try to learn, and then execute the task completely autonomously, end to end, like doing taxes, financial closings, management, credit loans, doing certifications, all of that work. Maisa, it's a new way of understanding work. And what it means to work at the end. And one of the things that we try to do, it's, you probably didn't hear me say the word automation that much, because automation usually it's correlated with, you have to build an automation, you have to understand all of the cases, you have to do workflows. And we don't think in that mindset. We think we are creating a workforce. And in how we see the world in 5 years from now is we want to become the biggest employer in the world of digital workers. And the way of how we do this is by empowering everyone to be able to build a digital worker, to onboard it. So to frame it and to understand the things that you can do with Maisa, and why I don't speak that much about automation, is that suppose that all the people that is here every day has to do one task, which is classifying the emails. This is something that all of us spend 30 minutes doing every day, right? And because we found out that we lose a lot of time that, we say, okay, let's hire this junior to just do this task. You wouldn't say, I have automated this task. You are not doing it anymore. Now you have a junior doing that task. You would say, I have handoff, or I have delegated this task. And you wouldn't think about automation and going to create a workflow that reads the email and does that. You think, I can simply explain to this junior what to do. It will ask me questions, and then it will be able to do it. And that is the shift in the mindset that we try to bring. If you think about automating, you are constraining the possibilities of what you can do with Maisa and what our clients are doing today. You have to think more about, you have this junior that you can explain a task, a process, you will ask questions, and it will make them fully transparent. And if it cannot make them, it will ask you, it will stop. We can tell you if it made a good job or not. And that opens the mind to a lot of tasks that people are not even thinking that are possible, and they are possible today to be done. So if you scale that, there is a transition, and we will see this digital workers entering more into the workforce and helping us to delegate the tasks that really are not creating meaningful work. Do you think that copying the content of an email and pasting it like a lot of people are doing in Salesforce or things like that, it's meaningful work? It's why they are in this world to do that? No, it's just something that they had to do. They are creative, they have ideas, they can bring more. And that's the world that we see.
And for the companies like banks, insurance companies, payment providers, highly regulated industries, is this technology is a good add-on or it's a must-have? How do you see it?
Great question. So today, they might not see it, but it will become a must-have. Simply because the main impact, the first impact that you get in the first 6 weeks that you start using Maisa, it's simple. You have a cost saving, a massive cost saving, because you can it's faster, it does it better. You can have huge cost savings, massive ones. But the reality is that all of these companies, and even other companies that are not so regulated but also have this problem, they are competing with a new wave of companies, digital native companies, and a new culture. In the culture of today, if I have something faster, I'm willing to pay more for it. It's called the culture of instant gratification economy. And that means that if you are not able to accelerate, before it took you 3 days to deliver a response to a client, and now you have a competitor that uses Maisa that is doing it in 10 minutes, if you don't have that, you won't be competitive. Like it's going to be mandatory to have solutions like us to be competitive. I'm not talking anymore about competitive huge advantage. It's just to stay as a player in the market. So I think that in the medium term, it won't be optional. It's going to be part of how companies work and operate, to be able to keep doing the delivery of value to the clients. And they will have probably to differentiate in experience, in what makes the process of buying, in the culture, in the identity of the company, in how it's perceived by the people, because people are going to want things now, and they will have to get them. So that's how I think about this when you scale, and how companies will have to adapt.
More than just saving money on the workforce, it's about the speed of delivering the value to the end client. An interesting example that you gave, we all dealt with the banks, and for example, approving you for a loan, if one bank takes, I don't know, 1 month, 1 month and a half sometimes, and if that could be done within days or even minutes, is that the future that we're looking at?
Yes, that's the future that we are looking at, and which is the acceleration of delivery of value to clients. But this is a reality that not a lot of leaders see. Our clients do, and we are proudly working with them, and they are doing it. But when we speak with other companies, they are now only focusing short-term thinking. Like, I need to save cost. I need to save cost. Yes, you obviously can save cost with AI. It's not so obvious, because if you build chatbots and agents like the market is doing, you are going to see that you are going to spend a lot of money trying to do it. Our clients come to us because they want short return of the investment, like fast return of the investment. But something that I advocate for is, don't stop on cost savings. Focus yourself also in how can you reduce this time, because it will really make a difference in the long term, and also in the quality, because it can be even more personalized. It's a new world of opportunities of the value that you can deliver. The real reason behind of it at the end is also the data. if you are not losing just the client, you are using all that data of the client that helps you to make opinionated decisions about where to go with the company, if to give a loan in the future or not. Like, losing that opportunity is not just about the revenue lost, it's you are losing the data that will compound into the future. So that's why this is something that a lot of people don't think about, and we just try to thanks for asking. It's a good opportunity to explain.
I think many of us actually can recall the examples of Revolut, like Wise, that do like almost instant account creation with these AI, KYC, compared to Spain. How do you see AI adoption in Spain? Because for us, it still takes a couple of days for a bank to open you an account.
I think that in Spain it's waking up in a very good sense. The conversations that I'm having, not everyone is going to move at the same speed. Obviously, the enterprises that we have in Spain, I'm seeing something very positive. They are innovating, they are advancing, and they see that this is not a hype. Like, this is real, and that it can have an impact. So I'm positive on the direction that I see on the main companies that they are taking, and happy that it's happening. Because I think that everyone has realized that this is the impact of this. It's going, the later you start, the worse it will be. And if you wait, it will be very hard for you to compound the speed that this gets. And they are all investing a lot. And I think that they are seeing, but they will see the results for sure.
You have a co-founder. You have more engineering, product, and business background. Can you share what shaped your way towards business and what kind of a founder you are? What type of the leadership style most close to you? How do you feel it?
So this is not my first company. It's the second one I made, but I have been also lucky to work in a company that was voice mode that became an hyperscaler. So I was able to see what it meant to scale very fast. I've been always very intuitively correlated to business, trying to make money because I lived the crisis and you had to make money to help in home to prepare. So I think that have also shaped my mindset. Doing 2 bachelors, one on the business side and the other one in computer engineering, helped me a lot also to understand the two worlds. But as a founder, I mean, it's how I started. As a founder, I try to be very close. I think that I'm very ignorant in the good positive way of the world. Like, it makes me be curious, try to learn, try to do not give things for granted, and I try to be very close to my team members. So to have a very strong culture where they know that they can speak to me openly, that I will try to work with empathy, and that like I try to hire people that is way better than me always, and also partner with people like my co-founder that it's a genius and that I can learn every day from him. So that's how I try to treat also Maisa as an opportunity for me to be surrounded by people that are way more experts than me in the fields that they work at, and that I can learn a lot and keep focusing into making the vision successful and the business successful.
What part of the building the global company is the hardest for you? Is it operations? Is it managing people, expectations of the investor? What is it for you?
Definitely managing the people, because managing the people is managing the company. Without the people, you don't have the company. And without a good culture, doesn't matter how good your product is or your technology is, because when clients knock the door, there will be no one to open it. So managing the people is something that I'm finding challenging, in the sense that I have to learn a lot. I'm constantly finding myself in positions that I've never been, and you feel vulnerable and you question yourself, and I think and that makes it hard, because you have to be resilient. There are a lot of unexpected. Everyone has a lot of problems in their families, and as CEO you get to know that now, and you have to manage a lot of you have to work with a lot of resiliency, because they will correctly go to you to help. So you have always to hear a lot of problems plus the business. So, which I think that it's fine. It's the role that you have to do. You have to be the leader and you have to listen and be there. But it's true that it's hard because it's very you cannot control how people behave, what they do, what they say. And you can also make I can make mistakes of telling someone something that I think that, hey, take a look at this, and now that person thinks that it's a priority and I have to clarify.
Right.
And so that is for me the biggest one of the biggest challenges of making this global, which is scaling the people, its operations, people, its culture, its definition of how the product is going to get executed. Everything compounds from that. We don't have we can have digital workers taking care of my every invoice that comes, making the closings, helping us to understand the Jira, but like the documentation that we have. But my developers are still coding and a lot and working a lot of hours. The AI team is always having to work in the edge of what is happening. Culture, the people needs to. We are onboarding 10 people every month, so everything gets shaped. Yeah, it's whoever tells that it's easy. At least for me, it's not. It's not easy.
So managing this cutting edge environment and pushing outside the box every day, every month. What's your mindset? What helps you to stay stable, solid, and strong for your team, for your co-founder, for the mission of the company, to build the culture? What's the mindset? Rules? Maybe you have principles for yourself that you can share with us.
It's a very good question. I have a few points because I think that there are a few. It's not just one thing. Like, there are a few things. From a mindset perspective, I have one advantage. My main advantage is vision, and I've seen what we can do. And if I've seen it, it can happen, and I will just make it happen. So I do not question what happens. I just understand that it's part of the journey. So you might lose something. There is a conflict that you do not expect. I don't take it as why me, why us, why this moment, why in this take. It has to happen, and we need to manage it because this is the path to like it's very clear that if we keep going, we will make it. It's just that you have to keep going step by step and learning from everything that is happening, and do not getting married with a vision in a way that can no, this is the way that has to be. No, we don't know. We know I've seen where. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I know that I'm going to get there. I don't know how. And this mindset, it's helps you to have resiliency. Like it's the key component. Resiliency and empathy, and also don't be too hard with yourself and say, okay, I could have done better. It's fine. I'm learning. I'm continuing. But it's a mindset of, what's the next thing? What's the next point? What's the next thing that I have to do? I learn from it, but I continue. And I don't judge what is happening to me, like why me? Why? Because it is. I continue. And secondly, have as the second pillar, this is like the mindset. I'm very lucky to have a lot of support, like not just from obviously the co-founder, but that it's always there, and we both speak a lot. My girlfriend, every day there in the nights that you question that there is that slight doubt, you always have, no, you can, let's go up. And my family, my friends, my team members, everyone, I feel very supported and trusted, and I'm very self-confident. Like, I have a strong self-confidence because I work and I finish with that. My mindset is always the why not. Like, I think that that's a problem also that we have in Spain. We always see the ambitious as a problem, the ambition as a problem. And I am not making this for money. Like, I am not making Maisa to make have 100 homes. And no, I make it because first, I think that we can drive a positive change in the very long term. But secondly, because I question myself and I say, why not? Like, why cannot we have a company that is operating in the edge of innovation in the AI world when this is accelerating? Like literally, why not? And if you think about it, there are not too many why nots. There's no money. Well, we raised. Now there's money. There's no talent. No, Maisa has extraordinary talent everywhere. There's no product. We have a product. There's no technology. We have a technology. There's no opportunity. It's the biggest opportunity. What it's and then you will find things that can constrain you, and that's when I told you have to address them and you have to work around them. But I always work in the mentality of what if and why not. Like, why cannot this happen? And if I find something, I will address it.
This is a good mental framework. It's a good model to operate your thinking process. I really love that, and I will save it for myself also. You mentioned something important about the talent. You're attracting top talent. You attracting people from all over the world. You have the office, the headquarters in Valencia. What are the top qualities you're looking in the talent? Is there something specific in their mindset, in their mentality, in their culture, in the way of thinking that you're searching for?
Mm-hmm. It is. And it's constantly evolving. Like it's not just one thing. In that way, I also look for people that can think in this way of why not. Like I like for people that can have also strong self-confidence, and that they know that they can make it or they will find a way to solve it. Because that's the first mistake that I look for in talent. If they tell themselves that they can, they won't. That's simple.
Yeah.
You always have to start for I can and I will. And I will just overcome whatever challenge it come. And I try to find for people that has this mindset. When I interview them, I always try to look for people that is scared of jumping into Maisa in a positive way, because that means that they also don't have these huge egos.
Right.
When I interview a lot of on the cultural side. So I look for no ego. If you have ego, you have to go to another company, because here no ego is allowed. You have to be grounded and understand that you are working in a growing environment. And from more skills perspective, when we hire, if I'm hiring someone from AI, I'm trying to hire someone with critical mindset. I think that it's something that it's been lost a lot. But the reason of why Maisa today we are in a very strong position to what it's coming, it's because 2.5 years ago, when the market was getting hyped with technology called RAG and a lot of things that today are proven that they don't work on a lot of scenarios, we didn't bite on the hype. We said, let's have critical thinking, and we went one step back, and we decided that there might be another path that we believed in. Today we are still doing this, and when we hire, we try to don't look for people that says cloud code plus this plus it's insane, because they will be one more ship in the and I we want people that can look to other place and they are willing to have critical mindset and make decisions that are based on data also. And last but not least, that's more on the AI, and I've told you about mindset also, because it's part of my job when I'm hiring, that I look for the cultural fit and for that person, because everything is changing. So I'm trying to look for people that can learn fast, that can prove me that they learn fast, that they try things. Experts on just this thing are going to be valuable in the future, but you will have to be top tier in that thing. Like you will have to be the top on that to still like, or you are the best expert of the top 100 expert on that thing that you do, or you will be at the level of AI in a way, like generalist.
Right.
So we look for that expert on exactly that thing that I need, or for a generalist that can adapt very, very, very fast and that can leverage technology to grow fast. That's from a talent perspective what I'm looking for.
That's a very good advice for someone who is actually looking at the job market and for the qualities that will be demanded in the future. I think actually the ability to learn fast, ability to use the critical judgment and to communicate as well is going to be something invaluable as an asset for you in the future, in the job market, in the future place of employment. I want to continue this line of thought around the approach to AI. You mentioned that you didn't take the same path of the hype 2.5 years ago as other companies did. And for someone who is not in the industry of AI, what is the main difference of the digital workers and the chatbots and copilots that we see a lot right now, agents? What's the main difference that you can actually highlight?
Without getting technical, I'm going to make it very easy. When you use any chatbot, it doesn't matter if it is a voice chatbot, or if it is one that is conversational, but it is conversational in that way, or even an agent. 99.9% of them will be, you will get an outcome, which might be a document, an update on a database, a summary, a classification. You get the outcome, and then you get a not very open black box that won't be able to reproduce the output always as it was, because the result is probabilistic. It's coming, the ground truth is what the AI told you. No, it's not what it is, it's what the AI told you.
Yes.
And it has been discovered that it's not faithful, that chain of thought, that thinking is not true. They are just telling you their thoughts, but that doesn't have to make sense. So that means that if you don't have the output and you only have that chain of thought, and you cannot reproduce the output with only the black box that you get plus the output, this thinking that appears in ChatGPTs or in the chatbots that you can use. That's how the market operates, which is you can build applications with this that are not very trustworthy, but that really don't require it because they are customer service or things that are not really that. At Maisa is different. We don't think that the AI has to be that ground truth that creates the outcome, because then once it scales, what I said before in the speed and capabilities, we won't be able to understand where are these results coming from. So we do something different. We, at Maisa, you get the same outcome, the same PDF, update on the database, you get to the outcome, but you also get the trace of code, in a way, the trace that created that outcome. So if you don't have the result, the PDF, this trace, if you execute it again, not calling it AI, you execute it again, you will generate the same response. You will generate the same output. By doing that, I can then leverage this to tell you if this was well performed, if the output, if the trace, if the process was well executed or not, if it was compliant with the instructions, with the know-how, with the learnings that the digital worker had. I can reproduce the results in case an auditor comes and wants to see it. I can bring trust, because you don't have to trust what the AI is telling you, like in the other scenario. You can simply see what it did and how it did it and why it did it, and it's reproducible. So I try to simplify it without getting technical. That's from a first principle concept, the main difference. That for any company, they think that the value is on the output, which is that PDF or that Excel. But for us, in the long term, we know that the value is on the traces, because then I can learn, once I have 1,000, a lot of things, how the process is executed, what it's working, what it's not, what can I improve. I can change from very expensive models to very cheap models because I have ground truth traces. And we can compound a lot in that difference for the long term. And it's a first principle way, a different way of thinking that compounds differently. One, it's using AI as ground truth that is probabilistic. You might get the same result. The other one is using AI as the thing that drives what needs to get executed to get to the result. So that's when you have the trace. It's like using it as the core of a computable system in a way. Is this clear? I tried to simplify it.
Yes. So what you're saying is you make AI traceable, auditable, and trustworthy. So there is a full transparency. What was the cost? What was the logic of thinking? What was the output? Which allows you to reproduce the same results.
Yes.
That's amazing. How about security? Because a lot of talks, a lot of also fear around the AI, especially for the enterprises that are looking at it and trying to understand how to adopt it, but are afraid for their data, are afraid for the leaks. How do you tackle it? How do you
Because
tackle it?
there is one component that a lot of people don't pay attention to, which is I have the trace, and everyone focuses on AI. It's what I tell you. It's the market is AI built. Like they are. I have the trace, but where is it executing this?
Yes.
In the air? No, this is executing it in an environment I control. This is not a native component of AWS or Microsoft, Azure or Google Cloud. No. It's on an environment I control. So if I control the environment, I can. The only thing that I need to do to control the security is I can't control AI to that level because we don't even know a lot of the times why they're thinking. But if I can control the environment, the box where this is executed, then I can force it to have security. Yeah, you want to access the internet, but sorry, this box is not connected to the internet. Yeah, you want to access that file, but this box doesn't have permissions to access that file. So it doesn't matter that you try to do it. Yeah, you're trying to do this calculation, but you have gone beyond the limit of what you can do on calculations. In that sense, you can't. So we control the box that this where this trace is executed and the environment in a way. And that makes the difference because then the security, I can put it there. I don't need to touch APIs, MCPs that are complex with connections, and I can leverage how security has always been done in sandboxes in a way. And that's one piece that a lot of people don't see.
It's very distinctive. That's actually something that makes Maisa great and distinguishable in the market. Nobody's doing similar thing right now. That's why in very short time you went from early stage to raising 25 million from international investors. What was that shift for you personally? Did it change something for you, like as a founder and as a person? How did you feel in this moment?
Being really honest, no, like in that sense, like you see this Maisa raises 5 million pre-seed, Maisa raises 25 million, we've raised 30 million. I have the same house, I have the same car, I make the same money, to be honest. Like I have not increased my salary. Like it's what I said, like I get that money to keep building this and making it great, and because I try to make it it changes in the sense that now I have more responsibilities. Now I have an investors that I have to speak with. Now I have a board that I have to declare things to, that I have to align. Now I have more shareholders that are interested in what we are doing and how we are doing it. So it puts more pressure and obviously and more responsibility, but I don't take the time to stop to think about that because in the sense of I have more responsibility and it doesn't bring more to me. Like I know that now I have to do more things and I understand them, and what I said in the beginning, next step of the process. I look at it, but I think that it hasn't changed who I am.
Get it. You're right now working with global enterprise clients, with banking, highly regulated industries. How did these facts shape the way what you think about the product, the responsibility, the client service, the delivery, the quality in general? What is your take on that?
A lot. We probably is one of the things that I've learned most that in this year, that it's operating in highly regulated industries, energy companies, banking companies. It's very hard, and because you have to be compliant with client services, like you have to. It's way more than just having a product that works or a technology that works. It's managing the very different instances that each company has, requirements from security that they have. That's why consumer is very different to enterprises, and enterprises are very different to regulated enterprises.
Totally.
And why we have position with that focus. Like today, as for today, people cannot go to Maisa and start using the product. They have to go through us and go through a process. They could, I can tell you, I have given the product to some people and they could. But if we do that, we lose the focus. And on the enterprise, they need roles, governance, security, special ways to call APIs, managing identity of the humans, identity of the workers, traceability, auditable results, cost control. Do you care as a user, as a consumer about that? No, you don't, because you just want this to respond to my emails. But in the bank, in the energy, in the insurance, they care, obviously, because then the auditor will come, the responsibility will come, and they need it to be accountable. That's why our mission is to make it accountable today. So the spectrum of problems, it's very different, and for us to get to the learnings that we have today, it has been a long, challenging journey. And I tell you that I am absolutely aware that we don't know a lot of things. Like we don't, and the market doesn't know, because we are entering in unexplored, like we are in the frontier. So we are, what does it take to scale to 1,000 digital workers, deploy in production, working 24/7, from a governance perspective? We are learning that today.
Totally.
You have to take into account that one digital worker can bring millions in savings. So we are learning that. And we know that the market doesn't have that. They have agents, small things, what I told you on that spectrum, but not at this level. And I'm sure that if we speak 6 months from now, because AI timelines are a bit weird, time looks differently, we will have very different learnings, understanding, and I don't know a lot of things yet that I will learn this year.
Right. That's interesting what you say. And building in your 28 global company globally, which raised money, which has the best top talent, it might sound like a dream, super exciting, super like amazing, right? But it's really smooth. You said something about learnings. What was the harshest learning lesson that you had last time? Maybe last year, maybe a couple of months ago.
The hard, like one of the biggest learnings, like it depends. I have had a lot, like, but I could say it's on the people side. Like it's very important to have time to think, quality thinking, and to make decisions, and don't wait for decisions that like I have to listen more to my intuition, that I do it, but even more, I have to listen more to the people that I told you, my co-founder, that is surrounding me, because they a lot of time have clarity that I ignore because I'm in the noise. And I have the learnings that I can get is that I need to isolate myself noise to make good decisions. Because when you said all of those things, that equals one thing: noise. And noise means that there is a lot of interest from everywhere pointing to you, and you have to be able to isolate yourself from that and gain clarity and make decisions that are founded on strong arguments and points. And I'm saying this because my job is to make a lot of decisions, and if I don't operate with clarity, the problem that I'm going to have is that I will compound mistakes, and I make a lot of mistakes simply because of statistics. I cannot make always right decisions. Be part of right decisions that I make with my co-founder. Like we have to work with clarity and with less noise and focus. And I think that this is probably a learning that people don't know, but that it's very easy to get lost in the noise, and you have to open your try to reduce that, learn where are the spaces where you have to make decisions, where is the moment to make the decision, and don't let emotions drive the answers, but clarity and listening to yourself, to your intuition, writing, and this is probably the biggest learning that I have, because a lot of the times you already know the answer, or you already know what you want to decide. It's just the noise that it's making it harder for you to do it.
How to step out of this noise to keep the focus, to keep the clarity clear? What helps you? Maybe there is a practice, a tool, an instrument, a mental model.
If I knew, I could do it even more. I think that it comes. It's being very aware, like, and trying to be very conscious. To be honest, I know that this maybe sounds even deep, but it's because I am not every time obviously thinking don't be in the noise, and you are not aware of that. You have to see the clarity, see the moments where everything is speaking in that moment to you. Like, it's hard to explain, but it's part of the journey that it's like a practice. You have to
Yes.
practice that clarity, and you have to, when and this happened to me these last 2 weeks, I've been also more frustrated. There's increasing and I saw it, and I could see it, like, wait, these weeks I'm more frustrated. And you start to recognize your own ways and to be able to say, wait. And I also try to communicate that when I'm speaking with someone that is in my close circle. I try to say, I feel that this week I'm feeling frustrated, just in case I also try to make my surroundings aware. If I feel, if I myself, if I find myself in that position, because they can help me also. I don't fear asking for help or saying that. But it's just practice of being self-aware, of being, yes, of if you said one answer, I can tell you, like, you know it, you are just ignoring it because of the noise. If you treat some of your colleague bad, if you had a bad response, if you know it, and you have to eat the ego a lot of the times and go and speak, and your own ego, and go to speak, because it doesn't matter. And you have to listen to that sensation that you feel, that you know that you did something that it might not be wrong, but it might not be right. There's something there, and it's just practice, and don't be too hard on yourself.
Infinite practice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very interesting what you mentioned about the emotional intelligence of actually coming back to yourself and becoming aware, of that answers that you have within you, the intuition for founder, which is super important. How do you connect with this intuition, spiritual part, maybe of yourself, of this mission, of this calling? You have to wake up every day. You have to go to your team, face your investors, face team, deal with the problems. What gives you energy? Do you have some secret sources of this energy that helps you to restore the force, the power, come back strong, come back every day, and challenge it, be on the edge of this technology?
It's similar to what I said before, because it's part of the mindset, obviously. But what gives me this infinite source of energy, I don't know if it's infinite. I don't know if one day I will say, I cannot more. I don't feel that I'm close to that. Sometimes I can feel it, but then I breathe, and everything goes away in that sense. It starts with what I said, having a good net around you, a girlfriend, family, friends, co-founder, which is very similar to, to that gives you always, you know, that you are not alone. Like, no one is alone. We self-isolate in a lot of the times, and more with social networks, but that is a very good way, because you always know that there is more. You always have a why.
Yes.
I'm doing it because of all of them, because I saw it with my co-founder. I'm doing it because I saw the future that I want, or that I want to build with my girlfriend, the family that I want to make with the friends I want to help them, like, and the surroundings. So that also has a very deep insight. But secondly, I tell you also from a what brings me the energy. I don't. I can have one. Uh, I can be sick from I don't know. I can get one illness. Maybe something will happen with my health and trying to take care of myself. But besides all of that and what the world will happen, I don't. I'm doing what I like, Even if it is really hard. Something being hard doesn't mean that it's not for you. I like to do hard things, and I think that I like that. That is a challenge, and that I operate from the mental model of I'm competitive also, and of why not me? Why not us? Why not and the thing is that I've seen it. So I've seen it. I've seen where this can be, and I feel it. So my motivation in the moments of lows is that when I see an obstacle, I just accept it, and I don't try to say this is the thing that is going to stop me. This is just something that will is telling me that it's from another path, but it's still on the path, and it's part of the process. And I'm and yeah, this is how I think about it. It's hard to put it into words, but I don't have infinite energy. It's what I tell you. I've been
Yes.
frustrated the last weeks. I have ups and lows, but my ups and lows are not anymore peaks. I'm now more and more in an stable, yeah, I'm not anymore in the pendulum. More and more I look in the pendulum from more above and more above, and I can isolate from that noise. So I hope that everything that I said connects in a way, but the source of this motivation or of this is that I understand what I'm doing and why am I doing it, and I have a purpose that I want to continue. And I might not understand the end goal, but I've felt it, I've seen it, and I just know that I need to keep pushing.
You said family, spending time with your girlfriend. What else is non-negotiable? Something that you would not sacrifice in your day, in your lifestyle, and keep on having apart from the company?
Probably it's the relationships, also the health side. It's hard sometimes because when you work a lot, no, I've been stronger. I used to go more to the gym. Obviously, I still do exercise, but it's not what I used to do. It's something that I try to tell myself to don't sacrifice, but it's hard because you get into the loops, and also to enjoy it. The moment that I see that I think that I'm not enjoying it, like deeply enjoying it, it's something that I don't want to sacrifice. Also, and the relationship, the friends that I've made, that I'm making in the journey, my relationship with my co-founder, all of those things for me are sacred, and obviously the family, and I try to be very conscious of that. My girlfriend has a lot of patience. I travel lately more. My family a lot. I try to say yes, even if it is hard, and to force me because you might be tired, but let's get to the dinner. Let's try to find ways to find moments to live that, because that's also part of the life. Yeah, that's the. But it's a good question. I will think about it also, because maybe I'm doing something wrong.
What is the habit or a practice or a belief that helped you more than any methodology or framework? Is there some core belief in you about this life that pushes you further and makes you the person who you are?
I think so. It's hard to explain, but it's the way that I understand reality. Uh, Makes me, and this is getting deep, but the way that I understand the reality for me helps me to take advantage of it, and keep pushing. I feel I see everything compounds from there. Like everything grows from that. Uh, I I I see myself here in this moment and alive, and that makes me to have no fear and to feel that I have no limits. The only limits that exist are the ones that I self impose, and the story that I tell to myself, it's the thing that defines me. And if I tell me that I'm bad at this, I will be bad at that. And if I tell me that I'm good at this, I can become good at that. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be an athlete, because I have to be realistic, and that's part of the story that I have to tell to myself. But I don't put limits to myself because I feel very aware of the present moment, and that makes me to not have fear. In my way of understanding life, I know that this moment right now that I'm having at this moment, it's infinite. Like this, the only thing that exists is this moment that I'm having right now, and this moment will exist forever. It won't stop existing. It will not exist again. It is existing at this moment, and that helps me to know that what comes next, it's not under my control, but I can define my. I can at least not put limits to it, and it brings me a lot of it's an infinite source of energy to think like that, because I do not have fear of dying. I don't want to suffer when it happens, but I do not, because I'm alive now. And it's very difficult to explain, but I'm alive now. Like I'm aware. I'm here, and that's like cheating, because now I can do everything. It just I just have to believe it and do it, and go toward that goal, and that it's as transparent as I can be. That is for me. I understand reality as this recursive, never-ending loop of now that and that and I say compounds, but it's true. That understanding joins with everything that I said and helps me to. Maisa will be what it is. I'm more than Maisa. It's just a huge part of who I am today, but it does not define me or my co-founder. It's just the baby that I'm taking care of with my team, with my co-founder. But I'm more than this. This is just a very good part of the journey that I hope that I have ahead. At least now, I'm trying to see how far can I get this. What is the limit? Because I don't see it yet, and that's really cool also to see.
That's such a cool perspective at life, really. It's such a beautiful point to look at the challenges, to look at the journey in general. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being open and honest and sharing this part of the wisdom, spirituality, the stoicism. I have a couple of short questions to you, which we do at the end of the podcast. A belief about startups that you no longer agree with.
Two things. It's not easy. Like you see these pictures of everyone making success and making millions, like they believe that it's an easy journey. I don't believe it. I did not believe it in the past, but now even less. And that's not bad. It's a belief that I don't have. And secondly, there is no playbook. Like there, you will read books and you will see how they contradict each other. 0 to 1 with lean startup. One will tell you build a monopoly. The other one will tell you build it continuously. You just have to deliver something that people find value from, and that but there is no playbook to do that and to scale it. Each own company has its own culture. You might follow some high-level playbooks as the methodology, but there is no playbook. So don't just listen to gurus telling you what to do and how to do it. There's a path for each one of us, and we just need to follow it.
A book or resource that you think every founder should read?
That's a very difficult question, because I don't have a favorite book.
Or a resource, could be video, could be movie.
I think that everyone should read. Everyone should, as a resource, they should create their own resource. They should sit in front of a paper and visualize itself from 2 years from now without limits, trying to not impose limits. And they should write it and read it and find itself to, that's the best resource I think that I can recommend. Put yourself in a blank paper and visualize yourself in 2 years from now. And every time that you see yourself thinking, no, because I write it down. What are the self-imposed limits that you are putting yourself to that? What are the things that are blocking you to that vision? And maybe that's a path to work on.
That's a good one. Next, one thing people would never guess about you.
If I don't tell that I'm a magician, probably at the beginning, it's something that I want before that I won't also remove from doing that. I remember that I didn't say that, but it would. That they wouldn't guess about me. I don't know. Probably a lot of things, but that they see this, maybe what I'm saying here today and this confidence at the same time. But I am I'm out of like I when I say guess, I how can I say this? I don't. I'm a human that has more questions than answers, and every day I have more questions than answers. So everything that I say has to be taken as I can be absolutely wrong. So I doubt about myself a lot too. So I think that they maybe cannot guess it, or they think that I'm very self confident in that sense. But that's what I can say. From an anecdotal thing, I like to do sofa, watching Netflix, staying like that. There's nothing bad also on those things that people tell you have to wake up 5 a.m. Da, da, da. No, like or yes, like you just
A moment last year that quietly changed the one thing how you think.
last year. Last year, 2000. That was 2025, right?
Yes.
25. And trying to make the timelines because this year and a half have been impacted by someone very close to me having cancers, leukemias. It has changed also this understanding of my understanding of life, being part of that, being direct impacted by that. And I'm not in a bad way. Have made me understand what is important and what do I value. And it has changed for me the way I think even more and approach the world. Yeah, it has brought me also more perspective of what is important.
David, thank you so much
No problem.
for this thoughtful, very grounded, mature, and wise conversation. For your honesty, for being the person you are, for your absolutely amazing energy in the volume of the conversation. I'm happy to host you here in the room by VDC. Wait a second. I'm very happy to host you, have you here in the room by VDS, and hope to see you very soon again for the second episode.
Thank you.